Hello, I'm Michael Diamond. You're watching Muscle Schedule. I want you to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Now let's get started with this video. Uh, Creatine monohydrate, most true and tried supplement for performance, building muscle. It's been around since the early 90s, probably the most researched supplement. Has been around for all this time because it works. Now, I don't think most people are maximizing the results of it. But let's go over this few things quickly and stick to the end. I'll give you my suggestions on how to maximize the results. Okay, we're told to mix it with a cold water, juice, or your favorite beverage. The first week, you're going to load 5 grams 4 to 5 times a day. Then after that, 5 grams once a day to maintain. Then we had the introduction of all these different products, sugar-based products, to mix with the creatine to help your body absorb it quicker, and it's still around with people still using it. Now, one issue people have had with creatine, some people experience bloating and stomach discomfort. Well, that'll go back to the first thing I mentioned, mixing it. I'm told to mix it with a cold beverage. Creatine does not dissolve very well in cold fluid. Creatine dissolves much better in warm to hot fluids. And undissolved creatine sits in the gut and can cause distress and bloating. Now, one thing not told, when creatine was first being researched and brought onto the market, the test subjects were taking their creatine with hot tea. So it's dissolving. So the first thing you're being told is mixing with cold beverage, you're not dissolving the creatine properly. Undissolved creatine causes distress and doesn't do the body any good. Okay, so first thing we're not going to do is use a cold fluid. We'll mix it with a warm to hot beverage. Now, they started introducing these creatine products with sugary carbs. The idea is the sugar creates an insulin spike, and insulin, as we know, drives nutrients into the muscles. Yeah, it does do that, but the problem is when you're taking the carbs and the creatine together, like we're having these products, you're getting an insulin spike very quickly. And the insulin spike was probably on its downside within about 20 minutes. The creatine is not in your blood stream yet. So, excuse me, you're creating this insulin spike to help drive the creatine into the muscles, but the spike is gone by the time the creatine is in the bloodstream, so it can be driven into the muscles. So taking these creatine concoctions with the carbs really doesn't serve the purpose they're intending. Now, they told you studies have shown creatine and carbs to be effective, but once again, what you're not being told is in the test subjects, they were consuming the creatine first, and about half an hour later, they were ingesting the carbs. Hence, the creatine's already in the blood system. Now, the insulin spike from the sugary carbs will help drive the creatine into the muscles. They don't tell you that because they're not gonna. They got to sell you two different products. You got to take the creatine, and you got to buy the creatine, and you got to buy the carb concoction, and take them separately. And it's an inconvenience. So just throw it all together. But you're wasting all your money, all that extra money, and just spending, but you're not getting the effect that you are looking to get. Now, let's go back to the loading and a maintenance phase. Yes, you want to load the creatine to saturate the muscles. That's where you start to get, when the muscles get saturated, that's when you start to get all the good effects from it. Problem is, after that week of loading, and you go on to a maintenance dose, 5 grams a day, what's going to happen is in a few weeks, your body's going to drop down, your creatine levels are going to drop down to baseline. So the loading and then maintenance is not a really effective way to use it. Bill Phillips, who brought creatine to the market, even talked about maintaining the loading phase throughout the whole use. Now, there have been some studies came out a few years ago showing the use of up to 40 grams of creatine produced significantly more results without any adverse effects. I don't know whether you need to go that high in your dosing. What I suggest you do, and it's a cheap route. It's very cheap because they have all these creatine concoctions. So if you go and buy yourself some plain creatine monohydrate, maybe micronized, which will also dissolve easier. Just plain creatine monohydrate. When you mix it, I used to use, when I do use creatine, I go back and forth. I'd use a sugar-free lemonade mix, and I'd add the creatine to it, stir it up, stick it in the microwave, and then maybe 30 seconds, gets it nice and warm, and stir it up a little bit more, and the creatine is virtually all dissolved. I get the biggest bang for my buck taking the creatine. You're going to take it 5 times a day, 5 grams 5 times a day, every day. And after a week, you continue taking it. The reason why a lot of people get really good results in the beginning, they come fast, and then they might still get results continued, but they slow down dramatically. One of the reasons why is because they're not optimizing the use of creatine. So you're going to do the loading phase, and you're going to stay on loading phase. You take it every day, 4 to 5 gram servings, and you'll see the difference in the results you get. I'm sure you're going to notice. Now, if you're using a creatine product now and you want to try what I'm suggesting, what I suggest is just stop using the creatine for a few weeks. Let your levels go down for sure, baseline. And then from there, start using the creatine again. And do it like I said. Warm fluid, constant loading phase. Forget about the sugary concoctions. But you know what? Whether the creatine gets into your muscles in 5 minutes or 50 minutes, it really doesn't matter as long as it gets into the muscles. Okay, if you agree or disagree with what I've said, if you enjoyed the content, please let me know in the comment section. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to hit that notification bell. This way you're going to get notified every single time I put up a new video. Go to the description box. You're going to find some links there. One link is their Facebook Muscle Central page. Any questions, DM me. I'd be happy to answer them. You'll also find links to Species Nutrition, Mr. Potts Protein. Click on both links. Go to both websites. Check out all their great products. Once again, this is Michael Diamond. I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.